Hi, good evening. How are you? Everybody's good. Give me a thumbs up if you're good. If your screen is on, oh, thank you. I see lots of thumbs up. As always, I am delighted to have this opportunity. So thank you for the extension to do the thing that I love to do the most, and that is talk to God's people about what God said. So thank you always. Let's see. So you may hear a little chime on my computer because I have not yet figured out how to turn off Messenger on my computer. So when texts come in, you're going to hear a little ding. So I hope you can just look over the little ding right now. We are going to talk, we're going to actually have a casual conversation tonight. Sometimes when talking, I like to get really, really deep and theological. And then sometimes I like to bring us all back up for air. Tonight is going to be bringing us back up for air, but I really want it to be meaningful. So I'm going to be asking for your engagement. I'll be asking you a lot of questions. I don't know if I will be telling you anything new, but I do hope that through this conversation, you will be able to kind of take an introspective look at some things that you may already know. Hopefully you will be reminded about some things that maybe you need to keep up with. Prayerfully, as we go through this talk, as I talk to you, the Holy Spirit will do the same thing, and you will take from this lesson whatever you're supposed to take. You know, someone may hang on to one statement, someone may hang on to somebody's question. However the Lord wants to deal with you, I pray that your hearts are open to that tonight. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what our topic is going to be. This is something that I've been walking through for about a year or so now. And I thought, okay, well, let me just extend this topic to the ladies that we're going to meet with tonight. There's a book that I've been reading called Walking to the Promised Land. Walking to the Promised Land. And if you want a quick review on the book, I'll give you a quick review. It's a bunch of stuff in the book. It's a whole lot of stuff, just a whole lot of stuff in the book. It can be a hard read just because it's not necessarily complex or complicated. It's just a lot of stuff kind of crammed into each chapter. But I was able to get, like I just said, I was able to get something that I felt like the Lord had for me. So I'm going to talk to you tonight about the steps of a good woman. The steps of a good woman. And the sub question would be, how is your walk? How is your walk? Sorry about that. All the devices are connected in my house. There we go. How is your walk? The steps of a good woman. And then the question is, how is your walk? So in this conversation, we're not going to be thinking about somebody else's walk with the Lord. I know that that's easy for us to do. We really want to take a look, like I said, introspectively, to see how are we measuring up to what the Lord is calling us to do. So that's the thought. So first thing I want to do is I want to get your engagement. I want to ask you, let's see, how many steps do you think the average person takes a day? Just turn on your mic and take a stab at it. How many steps do you think a person takes each day? What's the average step count?
3,000.
About 3,000. Okay. Any other thoughts? Any other numbers?
8,000.
Okay, 8,000. Somebody getting it. Okay.
About 10,000.
10,000.
Ooh, okay. Some of y'all high achievers out here. Go ahead. Okay. Anyone else? Any other thoughts?
5,000.
About 5,000. So depending on who you ask, the average per person kind of ranges somewhere between 3,000 and 5,000 on average. So a while back, I had Danielle laughing because I took out, one second. This is not going to work. My apologies, ladies. Give me just a second. right? So I had Danielle laughing just a bit ago because I told her that I took out my fitness watch that I had not taken out in quite some time. And I was curious, like, okay, I work from home. So I was wondering, how much am I walking per day? How much am I walking per day? Well, I was very ashamed that my watch pretty much said, this is a doggone shame. That's pretty much what my watch told me. And I was like, okay, girl, you're gonna have to get moving. So that's just a little funny regarding how much are we walking. But let's talk a little bit about ordered steps. Is there anyone here? I need y'all to think back now. I need y'all to think back. Some of y'all gonna have to think back farther than others. How many of you were in the band in high school? Let me get a show of hands. Let's see, I'm gonna switch my page here. Show of hands or thumbs up or something if you were in the band in high school. Anybody want to tell me a little bit about, okay, I see some thumbs up. Anybody want to tell me a little bit about marching in the band? Talk to us. What was that like?
I didn't do it in high school. I did it in college.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that works too. That works. Let's hear it.
It was definitely a lot of work, a lot of discipline, a lot of training. No matter what the weather was, you still was required to perform to the best of your ability. And it just taught us how to become one, to be on one accord. And you couldn't be on your own. You had to be together in everything in sync. And it was a lot of discipline and respect.
Mm. Okay, you've given us a whole lesson here. Thank you so much for that. Anyone else wants to talk about their experience being in the band? Maybe it was even in middle school, high school, college, being in the band. Give me one more story from someone.
I was in the band. This is Gwendolyn Hardaway.
Oh, okay.
School and in college. And being in the band made me really disciplined, but I had a problem with staying in time. Like you have to stay in time and beat. And however, I had to practice even harder. And everybody else would, go on. That's in high school now, would go on, but I had to practice. And what it made me really do was to keep my focus on the things that I was supposed to be doing and not necessarily on what someone else was doing beside me.
Okay. All right. So you had to stay focused, but you had to stay focused on yourself.
Right.
Not someone else.
Right.
Perfect. Okay. Is there anybody else itching to give me a band story? Anybody else itching to give me a band story? If so, the floor is yours.
Well, one of the coaches used school attendance as a motivator. She improved school attendance with it. That all students must be at school and must not have tardies. So she really, as a motivation of responsibility and discipline, along with the band. She used it for that too.
Gotcha. Okay. Good deal. All right. Well, thank you for sharing those stories. So if you've been in the band, then you know a little bit about ordered steps. Now, we may not have as many in this population here. Are there any women who've ever been in the military? Is there anyone here who's been in the military? I didn't think there would be as many here, but if there are, feel free to give us a little bit of insight regarding what that was like for you. My nephew, whom we raised, he just turned 22 last week, but spent a few years in the military, and we saw pictures of him during basic training, and we thought, oh boy, I'm pretty sure that's rough, because just like a couple of our young ladies said here tonight, there's discipline, there's order, there's no isolation here. There's no one marching to their own beat. You've got one beat, and everybody must march to the same beat. Everybody's marching to the same tune. And so you look like you're doing this together. Now, tell me, if you've had that experience in the band, tell us what would happen if maybe you weren't marching in time, as Sister Gwen said, or if you continue to miss formation. What would happen? Would the band director get upset or something? How would that go?
Well, there would definitely be consequences in some form of fashion, whether it's from your section or all the way up. But it would just cause you to have more practice, knowing when you're talking about the ordering of the steps. There's so many steps between each line. So you have to do a lot of practicing to make sure that you are doing it the right way and you're all in sync, reaching that next line of that field.
Okay. Thank you.
Sometimes they would sideline you as well.
Say, oh, yeah. Okay. Why would they sideline you? Talk about it.
Because you are not in step with everyone else, and you have to move as a unit and not as a single person. And it's considered messing up the cadence of everyone else.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Okay, so y'all know y'all teaching the lesson already. Let's take it to the word though, and let's see what the Lord has to say about walking with him and what he has to say. First, I think about ordered steps. I'm going to read first from Psalm chapter 37, verse 23 through 24, for anybody that's kind of keeping up. And then I'm going to go to Psalm 119, 129 through 133. So first, that's Psalm 37, 23 through 24. Actually, I'd like one of you ladies to read that passage. Psalm 37, 23 through 24. Let's see, if you've got it and you'd like to read it, please turn your microphone on and let us hear it.
The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord,
Yes.
and he delights in his way. Though he falls, he shall not be utterly cast down, for the Lord upholds him with his hand.
I love it. Thank you so much for the reading of God's word. I'm going to read Psalm 119, 129 through 133, and then we're going to expound on both of those. Your testimonies are wonderful. Therefore, my soul keeps them. The entrance of your word gives light. It gives understanding to the simple. I opened my mouth and panted, for I longed for your commandments. Look upon me and be merciful to me, as your custom is toward those who love your name. Direct my steps by your word, and let no iniquity have dominion over me. Those are the words of David in Psalm chapter 119. So let's go back to Psalm 37, 23 through 24. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delights in his way. Though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down, for the Lord upholds him with his hand. Think about, back toward the beginning of the new year, in January, when we make so many of our New Year's resolutions, how many of us committed ourselves to maybe walking a little bit more, exercising a little bit more. Yeah. And then, of course, it only takes a few weeks for things like that to kind of trail off. But I wonder how many of us, though, were chomping at the bit, asking the Lord to order our steps for the next 365 days. When was the last time you asked the Lord to order your steps? When was the last time you just would not leave the Lord's presence until he gave you guidance and direction for your next move? The steps of a good woman are ordered by the Lord. When we talk about steps being ordered, just like we got from our former band members, just like those examples, we're thinking about things coming into formation, things coming into focus, where everybody is not doing their own thing, but there's an order, because God is a God of order. And when the Lord delights in ordering our steps, what he really wants to do, he wants to keep us focused. He wants us walking in time with him. He wants us careful about where our feet are planted. Think about when a baby is learning to walk, and you know, the joy that we have as parents watching our babies walk for the first time. And we see them stumble, but we know they're okay because we know that we're close by. But if there was ever a time where we saw, my neighbor does this all the time, and when her little girl walks out, she's always making sure that where she's walking is on solid ground. If there are any holes or any other types of danger nearby, she makes sure that she goes and takes her little girl, and most of the time she just picks her up. And after she picks her up, she puts her back down in a safer place. She's ordering her steps. She's protecting her. She's keeping her from harm, keeping her from danger, but she's still allowing her to walk. When I think about the Lord as a walking partner, those are the type images that come to mind. He's walking beside me. And the word tells us that he is able to keep us from stumbling. But because we are human, we do stumble. But as this passage says, and that though we fall, we shall not be utterly cast down, for he will uphold us with his hand. That's such a protective, loving image of who God is as we walk this walk. The Lord longs to order your steps, ladies. He longs to order my steps. But so often we allow our steps to be ordered by so many different things. We're going to talk a little bit about that in just a moment. I'm going to look at Psalm 119 again, where he says, direct my steps by your word, and let no iniquity have dominion over me. We're going to talk about how we know when we are walking in tandem and in time with the Lord. Any thoughts so far? Turn your mic on and I'd love to hear from you.
Can I be heard? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Normally I wait to the end, but just as you're saying that, there is a certain amount of comfort I feel when I hear you even describe how he is ordering my steps. That's like comforting, because sometimes we feel like we have to make the decision on our own, but no, he still takes care of us. He's still ordering our steps. And for me, in this season, in this location, that's a comforting thing.
Oh, Pretty sure it is. Thank you for that. Thank you for that comment. Thank you for that insight. Anyone else? Tell me what your thoughts are so far. I know that once I start talking, you get these images and thoughts that start to swirl around. Share them with us.
When you spoke of the young lady, that your neighbor that picks her daughter up,
Yeah.
The image that come to my mind is God picks us up. You see that your neighbor pick her daughter up and protect her from the potholes of life.
Yeah.
But God picks us up and we're not even aware of the dangers. We know the dangers that we see, but all that we don't see, that just gave me goosebumps because I thought about he protects me. He picks me up from that stuff that I can't even see.
Yes.
And that brings chills, because there are many times the stuff that I do see, it makes me scared when I think about, what I just say. And can you imagine what he protects me from? What I see makes me scary. Just think if I knew the stuff that he already protects me from, the stuff that he picks me up and gently lets me back down. Mercy.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing that. You know, when we think about thinking about the qualities and the characteristics of the Lord that actually give him credibility as a good walking partner, I like to call him. Let's just think about some things that make him worthy of ordering our steps and then walking alongside us. Can you think of any qualities of God that make him a worthy walking partner?
May I add something? He's an all-seeing, so he will provide a detour. You know, he provide a detour for you. You may not see the danger ahead, but he does, and all of a sudden you see something and say, "Oh, I shouldn't go that way." So to me, he's all-seeing, and he provides a detour for you.
There you go. There you go. Okay, so God is all-seeing. Someone else, give us a quality or characteristics of the Lord that makes him a good walking partner.
Good evening, this is Sister Rhonda.
Okay, Sister Rhonda, I heard you first. You go ahead.
Yes, let me turn my camera on. Lord, I'm trying to charge up my phone. In a physical walk, I walk. Sister Hardaway, me and Sister Hardaway would walk together, and there's a path that we go through that some people, you know, ordinarily by themselves would not go through. I just say a prayer, God keep me. And I mean, I'm walking through those bushes where, you know, most people, I don't go that way. I stay on the blacktop, as they call it. But it's something about going in those bushes. It's so peaceful. It shields you from the sun. It shields you from when it starts to rain. And that's how I look at it. He's shielding me as I'm walking through there, because I'm asking him to watch over me, praying that no one crazy, because up in the top part, you got the homeless that stays there. And I just, you know, I'm not saying I got blinders on, but I just know he's protecting me as I'm trying to get through. It's about a mile to get through that little path. And when you think about it, if you let the devil get you and change your thought process, you won't go through that path. But I already know, hey, I'm protected. I'm gonna go and walk through. Plus, I'm trying to get this weight off.
Oh.
And I'm not gonna, you know, deter and stop and go another way just because, you know, fear I have you doing that. But I know the Lord is protecting me. I say a blessing, a prayer, and I know he's blessing me. I just keep on going.
So you trust the Lord to protect.
I trust him.
There you go. He is,
Yes.
I do agree. He is all-seeing and he is trustworthy. Someone else
Yeah.
was about to speak a second ago. You may go ahead.
Pearl.
He's always there. He's always there. He won't stop on you. He'll go with you to the end.
Ever present. Yes. Yes, he is ever present. Thank you. Thank you. You want a walking partner who will show up. Absolutely.
I know he's there because when I'm tired and
Yeah.
I feel I can't walk anymore, he gives me the strength to keep going to the point that he may be even carrying me. By chance, that's my favorite poem, Footsteps in the Snow.
I love that. Yeah, that was actually included in that particular book that I was reading through as well. Anyone else? Anyone else? What makes him a worthy walking partner? Because see, if we don't know the Lord, would you just, typically when we have a walking partner, it's somebody that we know. We typically don't just start walking with strangers because you don't really know them. And how can we trust God as a walking partner if we don't know him? If we don't know that he is all-seeing, if we don't know that he's a protective father, if we don't know that he is ever present, why would we want him to walk with us? And why would we trust him to order our steps? Anyone else?
Yes, my name is Doretha Ballard.
Hey, Miss Doretha.
Hi, I'm enjoying the conversation. Wanted to say he is a confidant. As you're walking, a lot of times you're walking with your friends and you start sharing things with your partner, the one you're walking with. And sometimes you hold back on information that you might want to share, but with God and you're walking and talking with him, you don't have to worry about what you speak with him going to other places and other people. So he's a trustworthy friend.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? Ms. Vaughn, I see your hand.
Yeah, I had to walk by faith and not by sight.
Yes, someone put that in the chat.
Yeah, I just did.
Oh, okay, okay.
And I just had to walk by faith and not by sight, because I had to walk when you walk, and I had to walk what I used. If I fell down, I had to look back. I had to lift back up, and I'd never give up walking, because I used to walk mostly time in high school days, and I walked with my mom, but she's no longer with us, so I had to walk her in spirit.
Yeah.
And I just truly had to walk. You had to keep on moving. And
That's
sometimes
right.
you don't.
That's right. And he will give you the strength to do that.
You so the strength. That's right.
Yes, thank you. But what about how holy he is, though? What about his holiness? And walking with the Lord, when you're that close, how can you walk with the Lord and not start to take on some of his characteristics because of that closeness, because of that proximity? So what about his wisdom? Anybody want to be wise? If you lack wisdom, ask your walking partner, ask the Lord who knows all, who sees all. What about his love? What about the fact that he is a loving God? Don't you like to be in the company of those who extend love and grace and mercy? Because maybe you walk at a slightly different pace, but the Lord knows that, and he's gracious about that. He gives you grace when your perfection doesn't match his. What about a walking partner who is forgiving? We all hit moments in our life where, whether we intend to or not, we hurt other people, or people hurt us. But a walking partner who's a forgiving walking partner, I'd say he's quite worthy. I would say he's quite worthy. You know, when I think about this, and I think about him being a walking partner, I just think about the amount of time that we're going to have to spend with the Lord if he is ordering our steps and if he is walking with us. There's going to be a lot of time that's spent. And every time I think about spending time with the Lord, it makes me think about presence. It makes me think about presence. And then a story comes to mind when I think about presence. I know we don't hear a lot of lessons taught on Mary Magdalene in the Bible. We don't hear a lot of stories taught about her. But there's something so sweet about her story that I was looking through several weeks ago. Mary Magdalene has gotten to know Christ, okay? She's gotten to know Jesus as he's doing his earthly ministry. And as the story goes, he has delivered her from darkness. He has delivered her from the clutches of darkness. He's delivered her from demonic spirits. And once he provides for her in that way, she actually starts to see, okay, I want to be in his presence. I want to be there with him. Give me just a moment. I'm going to make sure I got power here. Okay, great. And so she goes through her life, and once she gets a feel of who he is and what he is capable of doing for her, she doesn't want to leave his presence. So she starts to minister to him with a small band of women. She's willing to break cultural norms to be in his presence. You know, generally you don't have, women in this culture hanging out with men unless it's their husbands. But we see her in public, not attached to another man, but she's with Christ. She's with the disciples. And she's actually talked about more in scripture than quite a few of the disciples. She savored his presence all the way to what she thought was the end. And I don't know if you know that this song, Ms. Ceci, you were talking about the hymns of old. There was a song that was written from the perspective of Mary Magdalene. Trivia point for anybody who wants to take a stab at what that song was.
Touch the hem of his garment.
And it wasn't that one. I think that one was the one with the lady who
that's right. With the issue of blood. That's right. That's right.
Good try. Someone else, give me a thought. This was written, this song that we sing, and it is the most beautiful song, but it was actually written from the perspective of Mary Magdalene. And I'm gonna actually share this story with you.
In the garden?
Yes.
That's what I was just gonna say.
Yes. Now, if you don't know that song, it's the same one that I've always thought the title was, He Walks With Me and He Talks With Me. That's what I thought the title of the song was. But she goes after Jesus is on the cross and he has been crucified and his body has been taken down. And she goes to the garden that morning looking for his body. She's looking for his body. And as that imagery comes to mind, I just think about when a loved one passes away and they are in the casket and that is the last time you're going to see them. Last time you're going to see their face. And that their spirit is not even any longer in that body. but it feels so comforting just to be there in the presence. Went to a funeral recently, and you're able to just see this range of emotion from those who are celebrating a life well lived and those who are mourning a life that they won't get to see again. And so I can think about this. I can think along those lines where Mary Magdalene is looking for this Savior who has been so good to her. And so she asked someone, "Where is my Lord? Where have you taken him?" Because she just wants to be in the presence of his physical body again. Do we long for presence with the Lord in that way? Do we long for presence with the Lord that way? When he goes missing, and this was another discovery, she sounds a lot like, I can't go into the passage right now just for sake of time, but she sounds a lot like the Shulamite woman in the Song of Solomon who has lost her lover. And she says, "Where have you taken him?" You just want to be in the presence. Do we long to be in the presence of the Lord the way she, Mary Magdalene, of all people, longed to be in his presence? Do you want to experience his presence so much that you'd be willing to walk with him? Do you know enough about him to trust that he's a great walking partner? And do you anticipate the pleasure that comes? That's the last point that we're going to make tonight. Do you anticipate the pleasures that will come when you are allowing the Lord to order your steps and to walk along with you? What pleasures? Someone kind of hinted at it just a little bit, and I want us to go down that trail a little bit more. Someone said that when they are walking, that they love the peacefulness and the comfort that they have, that they can share with the Lord in that moment. That they can share with the Lord in that moment. What other pleasures can we look forward to when the Lord is our walking partner? If you got thoughts, turn your microphone on. We'd love to hear it.
What was your question?
The question is, what pleasures can we look forward to when the Lord is our walking partner?
Well, I think that, I used to go walking with these ladies from church, and we'd have such a good conversation, and we didn't want it to end. And so maybe the pleasure of walking with God is never wanting it to end.
Yeah. Yes. All right. Not wanting it to end. Someone else, talk to me about the pleasures of walking with the Lord, the pleasures that we can anticipate when the Lord is our walking partner.
So you know about your destination. You know where you're going to end up.
Okay, so you can have comfort in your destination. You can trust where he's leading you.
My name is Patricia Wade, and I remember just having a walk with the Lord, and we went on a retreat, and it was a peaceful time, and it was a time where you just felt so loved, and so it was like the most quietest time that I had ever had, and the most closest I had ever been with God. And I remember the trees. I said, "God, let me know you're here." And it was like the trees just started clapping, because that's how I felt, that the trees just started clapping, and I knew his presence was there. And that was the most fulfilling time that I ever had when I was on that retreat.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Someone.
Oh, yes. I'm Joanne Bobbitt, Dallas, Texas. And when you were talking earlier of an accountability partner, you know, when we're walking with God, hey, who else do we need to give an account to, you know? And as the sister just stated, I love walking by myself and the trees and the wind is blowing. Is my internet okay, Tessie? Am I breaking up? I'm okay. And oh girl, I love when that wind is blowing and I'm talking to him and my dad is showing me that he's with me because you can feel the wind and it's just such a joy. Yeah, walking with a partner is fine, but walking out there walking with dad is awesome. It's an amazing walk. Just wanted to share that.
Absolutely. That's very similar to what someone put in the chat when you said something about accountability. Someone said that the Lord would tell us the truth. And Lord, don't we need truth tellers in our lives? It says that the Lord will always tell us the truth and he will comfort us and inspire us. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I was just going to say, when I think about walking with the Lord, when you're walking, you feel refreshed and renewed. And like you have this extra strength that you can go on and do it again. And I feel like when you walking with the Lord, that's the way you would feel. If you was actually walking with the Lord, you would feel renewed and have strength to just keep on going.
Thank you. Thank you for that insight. And when we are walking with the Lord, I mentioned this just a little bit earlier. When we are walking with the Lord, it reminds me of when my husband loves to barbecue. And whenever he barbecues, he comes in and he smells just like the grill because that's where he spent his time. And so it's in his clothes, it's in his skin, it's in his fingers. And, you know, the kids come through like, oh, Daddy, you smell just like the grill. You know, you smell just like barbecue. Well, the thing is, we start to take on the fragrance of our environment. And when we walk with the Lord, he gives off a fragrance that we tend to take on ourselves. So when we talked about those good qualities that make him an amazing walking partner, those are also the qualities that we then have an opportunity to start to experience within our own lives. His wisdom makes us wiser. His holiness makes us holier. His grace allows us to extend grace. His forgiveness allows us to become more forgiving. There's a conversation that's able to take place. There's not a lot of conversation that can take place when we're at a distance. We can call each other on the phone sometimes, but you know that's not as sweet as a little visit. You know, Danielle and I, we just, you know, we have to, you know, take a little FaceTime, but you know, if we could run by each other's house, we'd still do that. We would do that. And then there's a sharing that can come with that proximity. There's a closeness. He's able to influence us. There's a companionship. There's a friendship that continues to blossom and to grow because we allow the Lord to order our steps and to walk along with us. There's so much more I could share about this tonight. I wanted to talk a little bit about what disrupts that walking process, what it cost us to walk with the Lord, but perhaps Ms. Tessie will give me the opportunity for part 2 someday. But I do hope that what we have shared tonight is, like I said, just kind of is casual conversation that really just makes us pause and see what is it that we're going for. What are we going for? We wake up, our feet hit the floor in the morning. What are we clamoring for? Is it his presence? Is it the ordering of our steps by a good God, by an awesome God? Or is there something different? Is there something better than his presence? Is there something better than walking with him? Is there a better walking partner than the Lord? Give me your thoughts, ladies.
There's no better walking partner. But what I think when the image again that comes to mind is when you're walking, no one walks without a purpose.
Mm.
You're either going to walk to lose weight.
Mm.
You're going to either walk to lower your blood pressure.
Okay.
You're going to either walk just to feel good in general. Okay. And so what do you, in your Christian life, what? You have a purpose.
Yeah.
You have a purpose. And so your purpose is to fulfill the purpose that God has for you, or to fulfill his wishes for your life. And so I'm thinking nothing makes the Lord happier than to see our spiritual growth. You know, when you lose a pound or two, or you can feel your clothes getting loose, you tell your walking partner, hey girl, you see my clothes, they were tight. My t-shirt, it was tight, but now girl, you see it's a little loose now. And because you are seeing the results of your walking.
Yes.
And Lord have mercy. Colossians tells us that God is so happy when he sees our spiritual growth is increasing in the knowledge of him. I can't remember where in Colossians, but it's in Colossians somewhere. You read all the books, you'll find it.
Yeah.
You read all them chapters in there. It's in that Colossians where he talks about how he is pleased with our spiritual growth when we are walking in his increasing our knowledge, something like that. But anyway, you read all those chapters in Colossians, you'll find it. But to me, it's accountability again, because God, we find our purpose, and our purpose is to walk after our Creator.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Any other final thoughts?
Well, I was thinking you'd be glad to see him. You know, when you're walking partner, you know, you don't live in the same house. So when you get out of the car, you're in that park, like he's, hey, it's so good to see you.
That's so true.
And
yes.
so you know, just being glad that he is our walking partner. I'm glad that you're here.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for the lesson. There was a couple of things that I wanted to add to the beautiful comments that's been given.
Yes.
You know, it's intentionality. You know, you have to just relax and let go and let God, and just the willingness to say, God, I trust you. God, I'm enjoying this walk, God, but I'm still carrying the burdens myself. And so as I walk with God, I'm learning that it's freeing. God sets us free from ourselves and from so many things. And it's a sense of surrender, saying, God, that I surrender it all to you, Father. I'm enjoying the presence of you, and just help me on this journey. And the thing about this is that when we're walking in the presence of God and walking alongside him, we will never be the same. God is saying that you will never be the same, and just trust me and let it go, and totally relinquish and rely and trust me in all things. You've covered so much, so I won't say much. Thank you so much.
No, thank you for that, Miss Sandra. Thank you so much. Any other final thoughts, ladies?
I also wanted to add, you painted the picture so like a little kid could understand it. And as you were talking, I was thinking of my little nephew. Right now, we want him to walk by next month. That's his birthday. And we're watching him, He'll take a few steps, but he knows someone has to be there to grab him or to hold him up or to not let him fall, and that's just our dad, boy. Yeah. He's always there when we're trying, we think we're trying to do something on our own, and we're in a situation, and if we just do our part, he will lead us to the resources, and you will know that it was him. Wow. And we just praise him and thank him and give him all the praise that he is due. Oh, so you are awesome tonight.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so I have something I think is a little fun for us just to kind of wrap this all up. So there, as I was going through this book, there is lots of encouragement about walking, of course. And I had never really considered the distances in the Bible that were walked. So we think about the walking warriors that were in the Word of God that we can be inspired by. If not, go to Hebrews, look in the Hall of Faith. You've got the Moseses and the Davids and the Jacobs, and so many of these people. You see their rocky story, but you see that they were walking with God. Well, the book actually gave us a little bit of a walking challenge that I committed to in November, but I have not started yet. Take that however you want to. But I thought it was very interesting that they talk about, okay, if you walk a half a mile, then you've walked around the wall of Jericho one time. But if you want to walk around 7 times like they did in the Bible, that's 3.5 miles. Or if you want to go from the Mount Olives to Jerusalem, which was a Sabbath day's journey, that's 0.6 miles. So I thought, along with my commitment, I would love to have some of you ladies to, I guess, participate in this challenge along with me. So I plan to actually do some videos as I get this walk started. I'll be studying a particular passage or a particular journey that was walked in the Bible, and I'll just be kind of documenting my process. But if you would like to get in on this, I would actually love to have some participation all over the United States, well, all over the world. Thank you, Danielle. Thank you. I got international people. But if you would like to join in, I would love for you to just put your email in the chat and I could send you like a little PDF of a walking chart. Of course, it's not something that you have to commit to, but I just thought it would give us a challenge, give us an opportunity to stay connected in the Word, because that is one of the ways that the Lord will order our steps. Through prayer, through his word, through meditating with him. And I just thought this would be a great challenge for all of us. So if you would like to participate, maybe put your contact information in the chat, an email or a phone number where I can text you the information. And I would love to have you join me. Either way, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. So thank you, ladies. That is all from me. I hand it back over to the women in charge. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Connie, for the conversation tonight. And like you said, reminding us of some things that we should already know, but you know how it is when you start that New Year's resolution. You start off, you're full of fire, you come out of the water full of fire, you recommit, you rededicate to the Lord, you full of fire, and then somehow we lost our way. It's not the way that we thought it would be. Life happens, and so we have to renew that commitment to whatever that thing is that's going to make us walk with him more or get us closer to him. So you started asking us, telling us that the steps of a good woman is, what we're talking about, and asking us, how is our walk? Thought about a story that this this couple got on, and they said, they have a bunch of kids and whatever. They wake up in the morning, and the wife is like, I go through my day. All right. I'm laying in bed, I'm going through my day, I got to go do this, drop this kid off, do this, the thing that we have to do.
All the things.
And then this is in the first 5 minutes of waking up. So, you haven't gotten up, you're just laying there. And then the husband says, do you think about me? I'm the number one person in your life. I'm important, right? I'm the number one thing over the kids. Do you even think about me? Do you think about our marriage? Do you think about our relationship in that time that you are addressing the things that you have to get done for the day? And she's like, no, I really don't. And so now I'm asking, in that first 5 minutes when your eyes wake up and you know that you have a busy day,
Yeah.
do you consider what you and God are going to accomplish today?
Yeah.
What are the things that you're going to do to adjust the walk? Because yesterday you limped a little bit at the end of the day, right? It didn't look pretty. You got through it. But what are the things today that I'm going to make the adjustment so my walk doesn't look as gimpy as it did yesterday? So something to think about, I was thinking about it with my walk is, people say, well, I start off with like prayer. Yeah, that's a good thing to start off with, but I'm talking about that thing, that to-do list. It made me think about my to-do list and how I'm going to reevaluate my to-do list and say, okay, if I'm walking with God, what's on my to-do list? What are we going to do today, God? Are we going to meet together? Are we just going to talk all day? Or we're going to be purposeful and intentional with how we're going to walk together today. I think that's so important, how we understand the concept of planning for life, planning for our day, but we don't plan. We got to plan that walk. And if y'all are walking, that's intentional. You got to put on your shoes. You got to know your path. You got to figure this out. You're going to figure out who you're walking with. So all those plans that we make to work out this physical life, let's make some intentional plans. It can be something small.
Yeah.
It can be something small, but just thinking about it, I need to think my to-do list is not doing that good. So adjusting my focus, that's really good for me. Adjusting my focus and seeing how I'm walking and being way more intentional than I am, just as intentional as I was of today. I'm baking a cake.
Yeah.
So yesterday I got my ingredients ready. So when I get off here, I'm gonna go bake a cake because my stuff is waiting on me. Today I'm gonna study a psalm. I'm gonna meditate on that. So while I'm baking, while I'm cooking, while I'm cleaning, I could be meditating on that psalm.
Yeah.
Something intentional, something to think about.
Yeah.
And then you ask us, how do you know you're walking in step with the Lord? And basically summing that up with, I put on my paper, you look like what you've been through. So you start to look like him, and you start to walk like him, and you start to talk like him, because that's who your influencer is now, right?
Yes.
You hang around a bad crowd of friends and you start to, say and do what they do, right?
Yeah.
So do you look like him? Do you look like what you've been through? Do you look like who you hang out? Are you what you eat? And do you long to be in his presence like Mary Magdalene? Y'all know the when I first fell in love, the butterflies, I can't get enough of them. I'm just saying, that's what I was thinking about. I was like, well, do I long to be with my first love? Is he my first love? And then do I appreciate the pleasure of walking with him? Do you appreciate the love and the comfort of knowing that your path has already been set, that you already have been predestined to be great? You're already saved.
Yeah.
Do you just sit in there like, he loved me so much? It's something to think about. This all the things. I think life gets so busy sometimes, Connie, that we just forget to sit back and spend that time with our love, with our God, with our Savior, with our protector, with our provider, with our healer, with our comforter. He's everything. He's all that in a bag of chips, girls.
Yes.
So right now, hold hands with your partner, hold hands with your God, and just walk with them intentionally. Let's just hold hands. I feel like we just all googly-eyed right now with the Lord. So thank you so much for a good conversation and way to make it so interactive, to keep us all engaged throughout. I thought that was just so wonderful, a wonderful way of delivering that message and reminding us how we should be walking